Ian, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Gary. Really appreciate being here. It's nice that we could set this up.
For sure, man. So, yeah, getting this thing started, would you be able to give us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, for sure. So we connected through my Instagram, on my Breathwork Instagram, and Breathwork is something that I've now practiced for a bit more than a year, I think. And it's also the first time that I actually came across Breathwork. I had at the time been working in software sales for about 3 years, and it was not fulfilling. Like I was working remotely, I could be wherever I wanted in the world. Like I was in Portugal for about a year, and then I went to Australia and did it about a year there as well. But it wasn't fulfilling at all. I feel like just high stress levels and difficult to control the outcome. Um, so when the company I was working for, laid me off, I was pretty much just accepting the situation. But that meant that I was going to have to look in a way. I found breathwork just coincidentally. But the first time I looked at the word breathwork, I was like, and looked it up. I was like, breathwork, like I know how to breathe. Like it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Luckily, I connected with a friend, with an old schoolmate of mine that held a couple of sessions for me, and I was just mind blown. Like it was, I didn't understand like that. Just breathing in a specific pattern over like a period would, do that to you. Like the insights and the peace that I felt afterwards, and the clarity and etc. It just was profound on every single level. Um, so then I was like, okay, let's do this. So I bought a facilitator course and did that during 3 or 4 months last year. And I love helping people. I've been working as a windsurfing instructor, sailing instructor, skiing instructor. So one thing that really gives me like energy and makes me happy is when you tell someone something that sort of helps them or makes them understand their reality a little bit better. So you get like the expansion of the universe, like, aha.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what brought me here. Maybe even today, because now I've had my business and I just started a community and it's for about 5, 6 months now.
Awesome.
So that's why I'm sitting here today. And I mean, breathwork just becomes a deeper and deeper and deeper part of my everyday life. I'm trying to just be aware and conscious of how I'm breathing. I think that's a great way of just understanding, the present moment.
Yeah. Yep. It's all through the breath.
You've also been doing some breathwork, right?
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Every day.
Kind of have to. Necessity in some way to check in with the breath. And that is how we do anchor ourselves into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It seems too good to be true. As you said, before you knew anything about breathwork, you're like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Totally, dude. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, cause I think we've all grown up and, been taught or experienced life in a way where you're like, you have to add things. It's like taking medications for this effect, coffee to get like, to get energized, to eat food, to build muscle. Like it's always adding something. Whereas breathwork is something that we just have there. And like, if I decide to breathe through my nose 10 times, I will most likely, depending on the situation, of course, but feel calmer after those 10 breaths. If I breathe in and out of the mouth, I will probably feel like reality is a little bit more negative than it was before. That's something that fascinates me, really.
Don't be a mouth breather.
I heard that it's strange.
It's funny how that's a saying, right?
What?
It's a colloquial saying, but it's actually real. If you breathe out of your mouth, there's scientific proof that it's detrimental to your well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't be a mouth breather.
I heard it first time I think it was the Stranger Things series. And I was like, what? Like, has people been saying this word for a while? Like, I didn't grow up in an English speaking country. So I was like,
yeah.
So what's a mouth breather? And it must be negative because they used it in that way,
Yeah, it's an insult,
It
actually.
is.
Like, oh, you're a mouth breather. Yeah. It's true, though. Again.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. So, how would you explain your fascination with the breath and why it's so powerful? You know, what did you come to find in your breathwork sessions? How did it change you? How does it how does it affect your well-being altogether?
I think, how do I dissect that question? It feels like I have like 10 different entry points.
I know it's a big one.
It's a big one, but I think it started at the fact that like I saw myself before all this living reality as like a consequence of it, and things was just happening to me, and I've had a very strong identification with Ian, who he was, where he come from, what he had been studying, his line of work, blah blah blah, like pride, prestige, I don't know, whatever. And when I started doing breath work was during a time when I just like was a little bit more open to the spiritual side of things. Um, and I think just spending a lot more time awake behind closed eyelids, breathing, gave me some insights about like energies and stuff. So my interest for spirituality deepened from there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I realized that I might only use this vessel, this body, for this lifetime. Then I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm pretty sure that none of us do. We're guessing, we're hoping, we're thinking. But before, I was a little bit more of I was living in a little bit more of a, yeah, call it negative perspective of life, where it was like everything was going to get worse all the time. I was going to get older. Time is running out. My body's like getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But through breath work, it sort of gave me a lot of, I think courage, because I could always find the answers that I needed in the moment from myself. I don't have to look
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere really, how to act and what to do and etc. So my whole identity, I feel like, started to dissolve. Um, and I think that's where it comes from ultimately. Like I'm still using this vessel, this body, the Ian, and that's great and all. Like I'm super happy for it, but I don't think I identify as much with it. So it helped me to sort of dissolve that very, very strong foundational identity, and now it's more loose, you know. Um,
Mm.
so that's something that I'm highly fascinated about, and how it's been able to help me improve by just like spending some extra time breathing a little bit more often than just like doing things, you know.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
Mm,
So essentially, it's a re-examination of what you are, changing the perspective a little bit.
exactly, exactly. Because right now I wouldn't, if like meeting you for the first time now here, if I would meet myself 5 years ago, something like that, I would probably be like, yeah, I grew up in that little town outside Stockholm in Sweden. I went to that school, did that. Like I studied these things, and like, here's Ian, here's the blueprint. But that is so incredibly limiting. Like that is, to me, it made me almost sad looking back. Not,
Mm.
I don't like to call it regrets, you know, but how I looked at myself in such a limiting manner. Like from this blueprint, I can only be a few things. That's what I saw. And I was really sad at one point because I was like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? But through this, I'm finding ways to actually do more meaningful things. Like right now I'm doing breath work, and it exposes me to video editing and like, so running my own business essentially, and like creating breathwork recordings. Where will that come out in 10 years? Maybe I'll sit and create music because I started here. So like, it doesn't limit me in that way. It's
Yeah,
not
I like
problem.
that. I think when one goes within themselves, the big change, this is just personally speaking, is in the attitude of entropy, woe is me, the world is against me,
Mm,
to flow, everything is working through me, unlimited potential, creativity. It's just the complete opposite of the blueprint and popular paradigm that has been sowed for us, the conditioning that has been sowed for us over millennia. It's just as we said, just a complete 180 in how one lives their life. You can do it in many different ways. I mean, breath is the most basic, most simple, the most relatable. We're all
Mm,
breathing.
exactly.
But it all just comes down to, I think, slowing down and really examining what's going on here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because we don't, right? In the Western world, we don't slow down. We're
uh,
always caught in, I have to do this, be this person, do this for somebody else, look like this.
it's so external all the time, and we think that through the
Exactly.
external, like, and if we please that, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna, like, internally make us happy or something like that. But
Yeah,
it just,
that's it.
for me, it just carved me out, like hollowed me out, that
Mm,
way of living. And now I feel like I'm slowing down. I'm like deconstructing my thoughts of what a pleasant way of living is. Before it was like, yeah, I need a corporate job. I want a leasing car. I want like a house. I want this. I want that. Now I'm like, actually, if I can just be happy and content with what I'm having at this moment, that would make me really grateful, really happy. And
yeah.
how do you find that? Like, I've found it through breathwork. It's been leading me into, now I met it for the past, yeah, a little bit, maybe 40. Yeah. For the past month, I've been going to this Buddhist temple here in Ericeira. You're free to join, like the meditations. They do it 5:30 in the morning and 7:30 in the evening. You don't have to believe in it or whatever you would call that. I feel like I can't pinpoint my belief. It's more of a broad thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been starting to do that. And I've just, this last couple of days has been incredible. It feels like meditation is really landing within me, and that space that I'm creating within is just becoming bigger, and the noise is just like the frame now. But I think it's a continuous practice.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Buddha tried to tell us this thousands of years ago.
Yeah, he tried.
And what's unique about Buddhism is that it has that in its tenets and its philosophy of the practice. Something that, I mean, I love Christianity. I love the Abrahamic religions. I'm reading the Quran right now,
Oh,
but they
wow.
don't have the practice. They don't have anything about meditation in there. You
Nothing.
know, they're kind of missing that huge facet of,
They have prayer, right?
yeah, it's prayer, which you could say is a form of meditation, but it's not breath work.
No, no,
You
no,
know?
no, no. But do they do
Yeah.
chanting in some way? Like, do they sing
No,
songs and stuff?
like Christian, I
No,
guess maybe it's not not necessarily in the Bible to do anything like that. It's not like mantra, you
exactly.
know.
Because that's something that's really special about, like, they're chanting Buddhists, and
Oh yeah,
it just landed with me so well. Like, because if
yeah.
we vibrate the vocal cords, we stimulate nerves, the body calms down, and at the same time, if you chant, you extend the
Mm-hmm.
exhales. And I had like, I'm on a, now I've done about 30 hours of fasting since yesterday.
Wow, awesome.
Um, I feel like I needed a reset, and this just happened to happen during that time, but I feel like in insane clarity. So it's a good thing. But during the chanting yesterday was the first time I really felt like something was, I started getting the same type of visions that heavy, like shamanic type breath work usually gives me. I got that yesterday during the chanting part of the
Mm-hmm.
meditation. And I was like, wow,
Yeah,
this is something.
yeah. When you align your voice with your breath as well, obviously they're one in one, they're hand in hand with chanting.
Hmm.
Also extremely powerful. That's like adding another layer to the alignment process through the breath. I find
Exactly.
there's something about it. I don't know the science of it, but there's something about
Exactly.
it.
I don't know if it feels good. It must be some truth to it, I feel like.
Yeah, it feels good in a way that is like past the colloquial feeling of good, right? Past the pleasure, you could say. It's not
Hmm.
really pleasurable, but it
No.
feels good. It feels good on like another sense than your five senses. Hard to explain. You just have to do it. As you said in the beginning, once you do it, The proof is in the pudding. You sort of just have to do these things to believe.
The proof in the pudding. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing too. That maybe that's why I think breathwork is easy for people to maybe try than meditation, because it takes a while for the benefits and the meditation to make its mark. When you start to realize how it has its effects, breathwork is more like everybody will feel it after just 5 minutes of breathing, pretty much. Meditation and what the positive benefits I can say now, I don't know exactly what I did, but I've been doing a fair amount of meditation. This last month, pretty much every day. And now I'm starting to like realize what effect it has on me. It's like my cells is just, calmer. Like they're not bouncing around, vibrating as much. They're just like there.
Yeah. Would you be able to get into that a little more? What are you starting to realize exactly? Is it just overall peace, serenity, calmness?
A lot of it, because I've had it feels like my mind has been very overthinking for many, many years. I grew up in that way. Yeah, I was made to believe that thinking more and doing more would accumulate more success, more growth, more happiness, more everything,
Of course.
But that tired me out after a while. As I said, it carved me out, that way of that whole philosophy. But I feel like just the mind is made of thoughts, but it's also it's one with the body, but it's also separate. It's like a muscle, an organ in itself. And if that is always on, it takes an insane amount of energy, which it already does. So I think ultimately it's that our bodies, I'm not sure how long humans has been on this earth, but I'm pretty sure it's been a pretty long time. And we've been able to survive and come this far because of, call it this technology, our bodies. So they know what they're doing. They're doing it out of instinct. And I don't think that this mind don't have to intervene all the time. It's super great when it comes to creating a society and community and stuff like we're doing, building things and making things easier and et cetera, et cetera. But it has its limits. It does have its limits. And I think that just trusting in that ancient technology, call it whatever you want, by just doing it out of instinct instead is maybe an art that's lost and that some people have found,
Yeah. Amen. I agree with you. I feel as though the yogic path and meditation, all of this, when I first started to do the work per se, it was like...
When was this, man?
When?
Yeah, how long ago?
Maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Cool. It was about the same time as I started looking at
something like that. Yeah. When I first started to embark upon that journey, I was like, it feels like I'm remembering something that was lost. Like, this is a facet of our being that should be in everybody's life from the get-go. It's not like some kind of out there hidden esoteric knowledge that only the select few can have. It actually used to be like that.
Yeah.
But I believe it's something that every human being should have, the spiritual practice of meditation, just simply calming the mind. It's something that we're missing, as you said, that I do believe is just innately necessary, especially in today's world.
Exactly.
How much calamity there is that we live amongst. So, yeah, I don't think there's a choice. If you want to say, be happy, joyous, peaceful, which we all do, I don't think you're going to find it on the outside. Actually, I know you're not going to find it in the external search. The only way is to do this stuff, is just to breathe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, man. Yeah. And you know what the thing is, too? I want to bring this up. Following this path of meditation, ritualistic, regular meditation, it's not like one becomes complacent. It's not like one becomes passive. It's not like one becomes lazy. I think anybody that doesn't know any better. They're like, well, dude, I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I got kids. I got to put food on the table. I'm just trying to survive. It's actually quite the contrary, I find. Like, if you can find this meditative mindset, do these practices, it imbues one's actions even more so. Like, I feel more invigorated in the external because I'm not tied to the fruits of the external. I'm not tied to the conditions that the external may grant me. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I
It's
get
like
it.
it gives me more power.
You see like the whole path or whatever you're going through every day or every life, like the whole path is giving something to you instead of just like running like external things like, oh, this thing. And then you eat some dinner and then you're like, oh, now I can calm down. And then you calm down. And then it's the next thing. And it's the next thing. It's the next thing. Like you're not looking for the candies. Like the whole path
Yeah,
is the
the
candies.
candies. Exactly. Yeah, we're not looking for the fruits of our labor, but the fruits don't disappear. That's the important thing. That's what one can see, right? And
Exactly.
the ironic thing is the fruits of our labor actually become more sweet. The candies become more sweet from this because we're already we're already like well nourished inside, you could say. We're satisfied. And then that just somehow reflects into the goings on of our life. Like the things, the fruits of our labor just become um just more satiable because it's like coming from a place of I don't even need this. It's sort of ironic.
Yeah.
I hope I'm
Yeah.
making sense here.
You do make sense. I'm seeing what you're getting at because I feel like I've trained my body to some degree to like when I get something, it's like when I'm eating that, hamburger or call it whatever, I'm almost thinking about the next meal, the next time I'll get this. But the more I'm doing meditation, this like spiritual presence work or call it whatever, I'm like just there. There is no
Just
next
there.
burger. It's just a burger.
Yeah.
And it makes me just like much more, present is the word.
Present. And the present is a present. It's
It
a play
is
on words right
it's
there.
itself, right?
That's not a coincidence.
I don't think so. Have you read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now?
Yeah, I read that a few years ago.
Yeah, same. That was the thing that sort of sparked my curiosity in this way. That was the whole thing that started it. It was really nice. He talks about the present as being a present in itself.
Oh, he uses those words?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's good. Shout out Eckhart Tolle. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah. Now, do you find that there is this also natural simplicity from living from the meditative mindset? Kind of like a monk in some way? That's how I view monks. It's like the ultimate simplicity. I'm not saying everyone's going to become a monk, but do you feel as though because you don't need as much, your life has become a lot simpler?
Yes, a lot simpler, a lot more like that.
Got a trash truck going by. I don't know if you can hear it.
Don't worry about it. I've had a few trucks and my neighbor's dog shouting here, so I'm like, shit, I hope they don't hear it, but don't worry.
In the world, not of it.
Exactly. But yeah, I feel like it's gotten a lot more simple. And before I used to play this scene in my head that was like, if Ian don't succeed with those things, if he doesn't get money, he'll live on the street and he'll be horrible, things like this. But through doing these, just a little bit more regular meditation, reflecting work, breath work, I'm a lot more at peace. Like I'm extremely not lucky because I worked to where I am, but I have a house in Portugal together with a mate of mine. I have a couple of surfboards. I have my nice little Nissan Sunny from the 90s. The car that's in the mechanic now. She's known for always being there. I have a phone, I have a computer, and that's wonderful. And that's all I need at this moment. And now, through doing these practices, I'm like, if things go sideways, if it just goes sideways, like I wouldn't be that opposed to just maybe becoming a monk or something like that. Like it's not that much of a crazy idea to me. I totally understand why some of these people just want to exit this reality as it is, live in a completely different way, where they're not taught or directed or like, by society in that way. because they have their own little bubble. They're meditating and eating and walking, and I'm not really sure what they do more, but
They don't do much.
it seems,
That's the point.
yeah, exactly. And it seems blissful. It seems very calm and easy, you know? I think we make our lives a lot more difficult than it is. And maybe the economy of the world needs it, you know? Growth needs it. Like for us to be this way. I don't know. Like maybe we're to prove that wrong one day, but I feel like just constant being bombarded with notifications and interactions and always being told that we don't have enough, that we need more, you know, that at least made me a little bit crazy. I'm happier now. But I'm in a good place. Maybe it feels like I'm in between the two, you know?
Yeah, one foot in, one foot out. I feel you. Yeah, man. I believe that in some way we all have one foot in, one foot out on the path in the Western world. It's like you have to, as I said before, be in the world and not of it. You still have to like do the work of the worldly things of your incarnation, of the stuff of Gary, of the stuff of Ian, or the stuff of whoever's listening. Like you still have to like put food on the table.
Yes.
But if that's all you're caught in, the drama, the melodrama, then yeah, you're gonna go crazy. The lunacy is gonna get to you. And
Yeah.
so you kind of have to have the one foot. I like, this is me at least. Like part of me is the monk, and another part of me is the, I don't know, entrepreneur, is the person, is the guy doing stuff. And it's like this balancing act between both of those seeming polar opposites of my being. Because if I were to become a monk today, if I were to go put the robes on and pretty much do nothing, that would cause suffering. I wouldn't be able to do that. I know it wouldn't work. And if I was to go on the other side of the spectrum, become a complete hedonist, live and let live, that would also cause suffering.
Yeah.
So I feel as though my karma here is noticing that somewhere in the middle way, as the Buddha said, somewhere in the middle is where one finds this peace, this flow, this happiness, you know? And especially in the Western world.
I think it's something about that flow state, like not really identifying with either or, like just like flowing in between the two, whatever it is, the three, whatever you feel like resonates to you. If you're able to flow in between these, I think that's the ideal way to live. I'm pretty sure a monk would prove me otherwise, or maybe he wouldn't even argue because you choose whatever you want. But I feel like that it resonates with me too, because I don't think I'm in the right mind, or it's not the right time or whatever for me to just put the robe on tomorrow and do it, because I haven't quieted that part of my mind down. I think there's still something that I'm to do. I think that's why I'm led into breathwork. Like my core foundation there is like, I love to just help people, as I mentioned when we opened up. And I it fills me up, and I feel like I'm maybe put here for a reason to pursue that, you know. When I'm holding my breathwork sessions, the live ones in person or online, it literally feels like I'm, you know, channeling something. I do no script. I ask the people that is present what their current state of mind is, their emotional state, and etc. etc. Ask if they have certain intentions, and then I pretty much go from there, wing it from there. And so far, it seems to go really well. And I think it's like, if you feel like you have a purpose and you work towards that, these types of things, like call it channeling or whatever, creative flow state, that comes naturally when you find that calling, so to say.
Yeah, well said. I think that's where this all leads to, the path. After you do the work, you walk the path of servitude. Eventually you get to a point of the bodhisattva, where you in some way feel some obligation to give back what you learned.
Yes.
That's what I feel, at least. I mean, maybe not everybody, but it's like, how can I not? Especially something as simple as breathing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not like to become the savior, have some kind of messianic complex. It's just because, as you said, it fills you up. Because
Yeah.
there's no other way than to serve others, to find a little bit of happiness and to serve, I find is the same thing. Remember that eureka moment you said in the beginning when you
Yeah.
just love when you see that in other people? I
Exactly.
resonate with that greatly. There's something about that that is like priceless. You can't put a price on that. There's like, yeah,
No.
when you know you truly help people, it's like you helped yourself. It's the same thing. Ultimately, that's what you see. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I love that. The eureka moment.
eureka, I got it.
You got it. You got it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man.
I think so. For me, at least, in this moment.
Yeah, all we can speak on is our own paths, but other people have attested that. You know,
Yeah.
that's also in other belief systems and other people that I spoke to is they say, yeah, it all just really comes down to service to a certain
Yeah.
extent. And we all serve in our own way. That's the beautiful thing too. We all
Mm.
have our own sort of piece of the puzzle to
Mm-hmm.
give back
Mm-hmm.
in, our own dharma.
Is that something I really emphasize when I'm doing my breath works and even sharing the information? Is that like I am no scientist, I'm no doctor, like I'm just a dude that happened to live in a certain way
Mm-hmm.
that has deconstructed that and changed the path. And that's what I'm sharing. Like it works for me. So if it resonates with you too, great. If it doesn't, well, okay. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that you're breathing in the wrong way. Well, like if you breathe in that way and you're not looking to change it, blah, 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 cool. Continue to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going to try to prove you wrong. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
and I think there's a freeing thing in that too, because I felt like before in my life when I had that very strong identity, when someone said something that was opposing my belief or whatever I've been told or brought up with, I needed to protect that because I had an
Mm.
identity and something to protect. And in the end, I realized like, shit, I'm not even protecting my own beliefs. Like, I'm not even sure what my own beliefs are anymore.
Mm.
Now it's more just the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Powerful stuff. Yeah, that's
It
touching
is.
upon the that's touching upon the unconditional living that we spoke on before. It's an unconditionality to how you serve as well. I see it
Mm-hmm.
as an offering. Like I'm just throwing it out there. All of this, everything that we're doing right now, I'm just
Yes,
throwing this out there. You don't have to take it.
exactly. Exactly. You just let it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to use it, you use it. Like, I think that's a better way of doing things because we're detaching from the outcome.
Yeah.
We're more just speaking our truth and letting whoever interpret it in whatever way they want to. Do they feel it useful? Great.
Mm-hmm. If not, well, carry on. Keep
Exactly.
going.
And that's also great because I like listening to Keanu Reeves, who's like, if someone hurts you or like blah, 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 you can focus on the other 6.9 billion people in the world. And it's the same thing, you know, not everybody's going to resonate with you. Maybe
Mm.
not even 3.5 billion, but like maybe a couple. And that's enough.
Yep. Yeah. Quality, not quantity. Mm.
Yes.
That's what's tough about being a influencer
Mm.
in this realm is because it's not the most popular thing. Like we're doing this right now. We're doing the same thing that say Logan Paul does or that I don't know who else. We'll just keep it at Logan Paul. We're doing the same thing that they do, right? Talking. But
Mm.
we're doing it from a different level. We're not doing it from trying to get as many clicks as possible, as much attention on the screen as possible.
No.
We're doing I don't know. I don't really know why I'm doing this, to be honest with you. I do it because it feels good, essentially, and hopefully it can help somebody. Hopefully this testament to breathwork and meditation, the spiritual path, can help somebody. But point of my story is it's like not exactly the most clickable thing in the world. It's not going to get the most eyes on the screen. So it's doing it from a place that is using the same exact technology, using the same exact techniques, but doing it just because, essentially. And
Exactly.
that's what's sort of tough. is because I know that my conversations on here with people, it's not exactly going to be like viral per se, but yet there's a part of me that says keep doing it. It's like, do it again, unconditional. Do it for no reason at all other than just to, well, have a good time in the moment with you. And maybe it'll affect and help one person do some breath work today, do some yoga.
Okay.
And that one person is worth a lot more than the million people that could be reached if I just did some, dumb stuff, dumb street interviews or pranks or whatever, talk to OnlyFans models, like whatever people are doing for clicks.
I think it's
that
about
one person
from the
What's
outcome. You know? I think it's about detaching from the outcome.
Yeah.
Like you do it because it feels. And I feel like even the people that's in the spotlight, the influencers that's in the spotlight nowadays, maybe they are there because a few years ago when they caught on to this trend or whatever that made them famous, that's what people wanted to watch. Maybe one day, if consciousness evolves and it starts to spread through more humans, maybe these types of conversations will be something that, gets trendy, like, or whatever you call that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trendy.
Whatever you call that.
Yeah.
Influencer life.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
Either way, we don't even do it for that reason.
No.
Trend or no trend, here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could have definitely taken another path if I wanted, like, money and success, I reckon.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what I could make, but I don't sell my soul to the devil. I know exactly what I could do, but it's just like, doesn't feel right. There's this feeling and resonance that I follow and it shows me right from wrong. Right? Do you feel that? Let me ask you that one. Do you feel this innate intuitive guidance that just leads you through your decision making?
More in tune now than it's been before. Mm-hmm. It's not 100% set. Like I still feel myself sometimes slipping. Like that moment awareness is something that I'm still building. But I'm still finding myself in moments where I'm like attaching to a thought and that spirals into a direction, and that can actually affect me for a couple of days.
Of course.
And affect my decision-making process in that time. But I feel like in general, I have something within me that is like leading me to like my spirit, or call it whatever, that knows what I'm to do. Like the baseline, the foundation of things. These are the things that you need to do. You're not skipping out on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And at least you're aware of when you get lost in the sauce, when the matrix gets you. Right?
Yeah, dude.
Because that's also important to know is I'm not perfect either. I get God a lot, but at least we're aware of it. That's the big difference, is being aware of it. And then maybe you learn your lesson, right? And not get yourself in whatever situation you got yourself in, and you don't say the wrong thing again. That's the huge difference. Is just, and that comes from breathwork. That comes from meditation. Is being still enough to see in the moment, oh, I messed up. In the future, if this happens again, if this arises again, something similar, I will respond differently. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what I also like to emphasize.
Yes.
And I'm not enlightened. But you can make progress and you can become a little more enlightened. You can start to build Rome little by little. We have karma to reap, as they say in Buddhism or Hinduism. And it takes time. It definitely takes time.
It does.
Yeah.
Patience.
For sure. Patience and simplicity.
And I feel like that, what you talked about, that like with less life lessons and stuff like that. I know myself, I refer to a lot of the things that happened to me. Why is this shit always happening to me? And nowadays it's because I didn't change. I didn't change my stance. My identity was so rock hard.
Yeah.
So like every time that happened, the universe or whatever just sent me the lesson over and over again. And after a while, I was like, why does this always happen to me? I was like, yeah, because you need to change. You're not Ian that you've told yourself in that way for so long. Like you're something else. You're fluidity. And then you will catch on to a new thing, and that ego or whatever identity will be built. But you will also reach a threshold where that is going to be completely dissolved. And I think these practices that we're talking about and emphasizing here is that they help you be okay with that dissolving. At least that's how it feels for me, because I'm like, as I said here, I'm doing breathwork now. That's what leads me. But in 10 years, if I'm doing great on breathwork recordings and starting to create breathwork sound, maybe I'll produce music instead. Like, I'm not going to stand there in 10 years and be like, I'm doing breathwork. I did a course back in 2024 and I'm definitely going to need to stick to that now. No.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense later, does it?
Fluidity, man.
You
can be anyone you want when you're nobody.
Yeah, right? That's the thing. Isn't that charming?
Yeah, I feel that. It's like no constraints on our work here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Really. Do you, changing the subject here a little bit, do you make music?
So last year was the year when I really started like opening up my creative side of things. I've always loved music. I love to create playlists. I have heaps of friends and stuff, listen to my Spotify and praising my lists and stuff like that. But I never really had the peace of mind to pursue it in like actually creating it. But last year, beginning of last year was when I moved to this place here. And that's the first time in my life I felt like, a feeling of home. My past, it was more just like a little crazy childhood, whatever you call it. Like I could never feel calm and safe and, relaxed at home. So I never think I got to discover that. Maybe it wasn't about the external world when I was younger. Maybe it was my internal world that was just very stirred up. Doesn't matter. So I bought myself a bass last year and I just, started playing and taught myself. I'm pretty, basic bass player, but that's when I write, whoa, this is fun, And then I'm producing a little bit basic sounds and stuff in Ableton. But I wouldn't call myself a producer or anything. It's just I do it for fun. And one day I may start incorporating it into my breathworks. But when I started to feel at home, feeling more safe, feeling more calm, calling a place home where I can always return to, that's when it's like, whoa, I actually understand it. I see, it's almost like I see the sounds in front of my eyes when I close them.
It's anesthesia.
Dude, it's different. And that's also why I think I was led in the direction of breathwork, because before I started doing the breathwork, I started DJing here in Ericeira. Or like not here, but at home, and had a few parties and stuff at home. And I loved it, I really, really loved it. But the thing with DJing and stuff is that people are just intoxicated, they're dancing, they're woo, woo, woo. But breathwork is wonderful because you lay a person down on the ground and then you put headphones or play music, and then you maybe put a blindfold on them or something. And it's their like undivided attention to whatever sound you're bringing into them. And then you might be speaking on the sound. And that's also something that just, whoa, breathwork is cool in that way, because they're paying you to just listen to your voice and the sound, undivided attention, no distractions, just breathing. So yeah, that's how it goes with my music side of things. I think it brought me here.
Yeah. Music is magic.
It is. Do you play?
I mess around with it. Yeah. Played a little guitar. I haven't played in a few years, to be honest with you. I know Ableton, produce music. Yeah, I mess around with it, but I'm also just a connoisseur. I don't actively put anything out. I don't actively produce like on the day, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm just gonna mess around. I'm just gonna flow. Just go with the flow. And music is also very aligning. The creative aspect of music, when you got a guitar or you got a bass in your hand, even if you don't know how to play it that well, there's something about just like becoming one with the instrument that gets yourself into the moment. Something just about the creative flow of improvisational music that aligns one to, I don't know, something higher, something greater than yourself. Some very well, it has the potential to be transformative, at least if you're at a party and stuff and drunk. A little bit different sort of magic, but if you
Yeah.
use it in the right way, then you can become very attuned and get to higher states of consciousness, especially through, like I said, when you're playing the instrument, when you're creating from that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
And yeah,
something, I don't know what it is, man. Something about sound that just gets one on a different level. The right frequencies. You do the right frequencies, you enter this like other realm. You
yeah,
lose yourself, right? You probably find that you lost yourself in some sort of way to the base,
yeah.
right? You just somewhere else.
Get around, 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 and you're like, whoa, like I'm not here anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
just some place deep inside. I don't know where. I want to point in my head because that's, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's something on the insides that just starts to feel and tickle differently.
Yeah. Powerful. Do you feel that in surfing as well?
Yeah. Less now than I've done in the past.
Mm.
Now, like it's more just like small bursts here and there. I'm more conscious about it. I'm not trying to squeeze it out. I may have like a wave out of 10. Like this morning, I just had an amazing surf session. It was very small, but it was that. I think I haven't been eating for. By that time, I didn't eat for about 24 hours. So I feel like there's no distractions. It's just me and my body.
Mm.
And then fasting, it was really easy to find yourself in that flow state. My friend was like, "Whoa, you're just catching heaps of waves." I'm like, I don't even realize, I'm just taking one and just feels, fluid.
Mm.
But yeah, more so when I was younger, but I still find it here and there when there
Yeah.
is no noise.
Ah, that's cool.
Do you
I've
surf?
never tried it. No.
Never?
Mm-mm.
There's not that much surfing on that side of the US, no?
Not really. Yeah. It's not really. Nah, the beaches aren't the best. Let's be honest.
And
In
it's cold
Boston.
too, right?
Well, the Cape is nice. Yeah, and it's cold. But it's not, yeah, it's not like Bali or California.
No.
It's better than nothing, but it's not, I don't think it's the best surf. I don't know. I'm not a surfer, but I don't think it is. I don't see a lot of surfers.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I surfed in Sweden, but it was like these crazy heads that does that. Like wave surfing, like the amount of time they have to put into it is to look for waves and to drive to the right spots. And when you come there, it's like the shittiest of days here. When it's decent there, it's like
Oh, yeah.
good. It's the shittiest days here. So like and I also think the weather is just too dark and too cold up there. So I was like, I'm a EU citizen. I can move down here in a snap with my fingers. I can move. So I feel like that's also a blessing. But I'm happy. Like it is. Well, as I said before, like Portugal is a really cool country, and it keeps on growing on me. The way that people live here, they're very relaxed, very, don't stress too much. Very far from the mindset of, say, Northern Europeans.
Yeah. Or Americans.
Yeah, exactly. So here it's completely different. Like you leave the car to the mechanic. If you don't give him a text message, the car might be there a month, but you have to be up their ass all the time for them to actually do the work sometimes. And they don't really reach out to you and be like, hey, this doesn't work, or like, no, they're not communicative in that sense. I think I would come around as pretty annoying, like as a Northern European coming here. But I mean, if I'm paying you to do a job, like I expect you to do it too. It's that simple.
It's almost too chill.
Yeah, dude. But it's like the positives and negatives. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. It's always going to be positives and negatives, no matter where you are. And this is one I'm choosing at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, that intuitive guidance will allow you to weigh the positive and negatives. Like, as you said, it's always going to have, there's always going to be pros and cons to what we do, but that
Mm.
intuitive guidance, I find, the higher self, as they say, will allow you to weigh what is best for you in the moment
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you
without
have
much thinking.
something on the
Sorry.
ins? Like, how are you guided? Do you feel like?
It's hard to explain because it
Yeah.
goes beyond words. It's like, it's conditional, it's situational, but when
Mm.
it arises, there is this other vantage point than rational thought, than
Mm,
logical thinking. That is the precursor to rational thinking. It happens before, and then the mind comes in. So if I can be still enough to be able to notice that and listen to that, usually that leads the way to the best option. Usually, from experience, I've noticed it's just through, I mean, honestly, it's through repetition, tapping in with whatever that is in
mm,
meditation, and then also taking that wavelength into the goings on,
indeed.
re reacquainting myself over and over again enough to hear the subtle whispers of intuition and following that. Once you tap in, once you know it's a thing, I think it gets easier. But it's not exactly, um, it gets easier because you know how to recognize it, but it's still difficult. It's still like an ongoing thing. It's still an ongoing surrender experiment to be able to surrender to that other side of my being. It seems it's not another side, sort of dualistic to think like that, but it kind of is. It's like the ego mind takes the back seat, right? So
Yes. Yes.
the popular paradigm is, the Western world is the ego is the driver. We let the mind, the logical, rational mind, be the driver. But on this wavelength of meditative lifestyle, meditative mindset, it takes the back seat, and then the higher self, the intuition, is what's
Mm,
driving the car. The ego
indeed.
mind's still in the back seat, yammering on, but you
Yes.
know who really is driving.
Dude, you put
So
it perfectly there.
yeah, yeah, it's just reacquainting always, every day. Reacquaint yourself with that higher intelligence that really never disappears. It may seemingly disappear when we get lost in the goings on of our life, but it's always there.
Hmm.
Extremely subtle, but extremely powerful as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like
Yeah,
for me, I'm like programmed a little bit to, act from reaction. Like I react and then I'm like, that's
yeah.
Ian. Ian is reaction.
Mm-hmm.
He always responds to someone, um, driving slow in traffic in that way,
Yeah.
by honking or something like that. But nowadays
Mm-hmm.
it's more just like I take a breath and I'm like, how do I want this to look? I have all the choices. Like I can choose to not honk. I can choose to slow down. I can choose to be like, I'm not going to get to the place as fast as possible, but I will get there. And maybe that is, surrendering. Maybe that is the right way. And I feel like also this body that I'm the driver of, I need to take care of that thing.
Mm.
If I raise my pulse, I'm not sure how short of a life I'm going to live. Like, if I breathe with my mouth, it's the same thing there. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
how much shorter of a life I'm going to live. So at least I try to be mindful and do what's right. Sometimes it works. I'm getting better at it. Now I'm driving way slower and way safer in traffic than like I did a few years back. But it's that like, instead of reacting and being like, that person is driving slow, I'm going to take over. Now I'm more like, oh, well, where do I have to be really? I'm here now. That
Exactly.
moment to moment awareness constantly,
Yep.
constantly.
Here is always here. Where else are you gonna go?
Literally,
It's always here, man. You're going nowhere.
literally, literally. And if I feel like it can even be difficult for people to understand what that means if they've never really thought about it, never done any spiritual practice and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's that like complete deconstruction of what future and past is. It's just like you're the result of everything in this universe. I think it's in the beginning of the Surrender Experience book. It's like, I think the universe has been here for 13.8 billion years or something like that. And you are the result of that. Like everything has happened in a way that led you to come here. Like your thoughts of what is right and what is wrong, like don't take them too seriously. Just, I'm not sure what he says by word, but something about this. It's like, it's meant to happen. It's meant to be that way. Just surrender to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That really
Yeah.
resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's like, my mind is like, hey, Ian, I know a better way of doing that. It's like, but no, you should be there instead. I'm like, but I'm not. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That's the essence of it, man. It's just letting go of trying to control this whole thing. Think about how just egocentric that is. We have the audacity to think that we can control the forces of nature that gave birth to the universe 13.8 billion years ago. It's like, dude, just surrender.
Yeah, man.
You're trying to control the power of the Big Bang. Just breathe. Go with the flow.
Exactly. Just let be instead of doing. You just like let it be.
Yeah.
If you don't try to put your finger in the soup or whatever it is, like how's it gonna go? How's it gonna go? Just look for a second, observe, taking the role as the observer instead of like the one who feels like it needs to react.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amen, man. Amen. Yeah. It really is the truth. I hate to sound so hippie-ish, so cliche.
Oh yeah.
Right? We've all heard this before.
Yeah,
Be
man.
here now. But it is the truth. And I can't help but reiterate it in every conversation. Slow down. Take a breath. Notice. Just notice. Breathe deep and feel really the forces that run through you, that you are in and of. The energy of the Big Bang, of the universe, 13.8 billion years ago, that gave birth to you to be in this moment right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
That energy is running through you. Some call it God, the Tao, the way, whatever label you want to use. Doesn't really matter. But if you're aware enough, if you slow down enough, you'll be able to feel it and know that it really is the truth. It's not just some hippie cliche.
No, I think we lose that in our younger age sometime during school or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
that's the thing. As children, they're acquainted with that. They already know that.
Yeah, it's
And we do
interesting.
lose it.
This last month when I've been doing a lot more meditation, I started feeling like a lot more just, natural happiness. It was like nothing happened. Like I just saw a flower and I'm like feeling something like boil within me. And I'm like, whoa, starting to laugh, get a smile. I'm like, it's a flower.
Yep.
And the other day I was like just walking around, like hear a bird. And I was like, whoa. I'm not sure how long ago I got this feeling from something that simple, like just the sound of a bird. But I'm pretty sure Ian was like 10 years old when that happened. Like it was so long ago, like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Tuning
Yeah,
into
man.
that again is beautiful because I think that it doesn't have to be more complicated. Beauty is right there and love is right here. Like,
Seriously.
again, hate to sound that hippie, but it's that simple, truly.
Too late.
Especially with his hair.
Yeah, right. Nice hair. A little envious.
Working hard. 13.8 billion years.
Right there. 13.8 billion years worth of hair. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
But I think this is a good note to start to wrap this thing up at. It is that simple, and that is what we are returning to. That's what we're remembering. It's the essence of purity, renewal, constant renewal that we feel in childhood, curiosity, right? We all know what it feels like to be a kid, a child at the playground, just going from thing to thing. Everything is new. That's what one can come to find in this meditative approach to life, is a renewal in one's life, just invigoration of one's livelihood. And it's through this essence of play. Everything, the birds, you've heard them a million times, but somehow, some way, they become sweeter once you hear them from the still point, from the 0 point essence. And yeah, unless you become like children, Jesus said, then you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. So I don't have anything else to say.
Well said. The conscious moment to moment awareness. It's a
Yeah,
most
seriously.
important thing in this lifetime, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Choose stillness. Be present.
Amen. Well, I feel it. I don't know about you.
I feel it too, Gary.
I feel aligned, and I thank you for coming on here and reminding me, realigning me, remembering, aiding in the remembrance. And yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, dude.
Appreciate you, Gary. Have a good one. Great connecting.
You too. Peace and love to you, and peace and love to anybody that listens this long. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.